Hi everybody, this video is going to talk about how to use the law of sines. As we discussed in class, the law of sines is used for one of two situations. It is when we have two angles and a side. So basically, let's just kind of dive in after our discussion in class with example number 1. So here we go. In some triangle ABC, if the measure of angle A is 55 degrees and the measure of angle B is 20 degrees and lowercase b is 10 feet, then find the length of side AB. All right, so we have to draw a diagram here. Now, first thing I'm going to notice is they gave us two angles, which means we can find the third, right? Angle A is 55 plus 20 degrees is 75 degrees. So that means the missing angle C is going to have to be 105 degrees. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to draw myself an obtuse triangle because I think, one of those angles is going to be 105. So let's go ahead and label. So let me put these in here. This is going to be, I don't know, I'm just taking a guess. Let's say this is 55, this is 20, all right? And it's not to scale here, it's just a sketch. And that's going to be the obtuse 105. So according to my labels, this would have to be angle A, this would be B, and that would be C. They're giving us lowercase b. Lowercase b will be located straight across from capital B, or angle B. So I'm going to put, I'll even write b equals 10 this time, right? Usually I'll just write the number 10. Now, let's not forget, straight across from A will be lowercase a, and straight across from C will be lowercase c. We're going to need those variables in the law of sines. All right, so here we go. So they want us to find side AB. Now, ladies and gentlemen, that is across from C. So I'm going to use lowercase c. So for the law of sines, we're going to use a proportion, one fraction set equal to another. So what I'm going to do is notice that, hey, this is the side that I'm given, 10, which is across from 20 degrees. So I'm going to set up my law of sines as the sine of capital B, which is 20 degrees, and I'm going to compare that to the side that's across from it, which is 10. So now I'm going to say the sine of 20 degrees is to 10. Now I have to set up my other proportion here. So the sine of 20 is to 10 as what is to C. Now we always want to make sure that we're using the angle straight across from it, right? So now my proportion will be sine of 20 degrees is to 10 as the sine of 105 is to C, right? You want to make sure they match up. So now we have our proportion. Now we're going to need to show our work. So we solve a proportion by cross multiplying. So I'm going to multiply C times the sine of 20, and I'm just going to literally write it as that. C sine 20 degrees equals, we're going to multiply that way and get 10 sine 105 degrees. All right, so now our goal is to get C alone. That's going to be the missing side we need. So what we're going to end up doing is we're going to divide by the sine of 20. And what we do to one side, of course, we're going to do to the other. Now, I just like to write this extra step in here, right? Of course, these are going to divide out to be 1. So I'm going to be left with C equals 10 sine of 105 degrees, all divided by the sine of 20. All right. Now, the only thing left to do here is to type into our calculator, right? So what I'd like to do is go ahead over to the Desmos calculator and type in 10 sine of 105 divided by sine of 20. So now I start with my 10 sine 105. Now I'm going to close my parentheses, and now I'm going to click divided by, and I'm going to make sure that it makes this nice big fraction for me, which it did. Now I type in sine of 20. I'm going to close up my parentheses, and there's my answer, 28.2417. C is going to be 28.2417, etc., etc. Now, I just want to finish with this extra little step here. I'm going to finish by writing my final answer. I'm going to say that AB, right, because that's what they wanted from me, AB is approximately 28.24, and did we have a label? Yes, we did. That was feet, right? So my final answer is going to be 28.24 feet. But before I finish up here, I want to ask myself, is this a reasonable answer? So let's not forget. Right? So 20 degrees was straight across from 10 feet. So it's a smaller angle, gave us 10 feet. Now a much larger angle is giving us 28.24 feet, which is considerably larger than 10, so I'm happy.